started. Thank you for joining us on this third Sunday in our series to celebrate the 5th anniversary of Gregory's book, A Whole Life Path. Today, our teachers will be Lucy Liu and Ruby Phillips. I have a little bio for each of them. Lucy began her Vipassana practice in 1986. And she started practicing ID in 2008 when she met Gregory at BCBS, I think. Lucy was a founding member of the Guiding Sangha and helped the transition from metta programs into the current Insight Dialogue community. In another life, Lucy was a nonviolent communications trainer. She has retired from that, where she taught mindfulness inside and outside of prisons. And Ruby Phillips, Lucy makes her home, it's in Sonoma County. She has that in her name. Ruby Phillips makes her home in Seattle. She's been practicing Vipassana meditation since 1988 and came to ID, same as Lucy, through Lucy in 2008. Through the years, Ruby has been an instrumental help on several of the Insight Dialogue community's working groups, and now she's active in the anti-racism area group, the 4 Cs, which offers nonviolent communication, and a monthly ID practice group that Ruby and I do together for people who have taken the anti-racism Insight Dialogue program. So with that, I am delighted to turn it over to, I think Ruby's going to start with the session overview. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nancy. Let's just take a moment there. Many of our Sangha mates are at Berry. Looks like my internet was unstable. I'll do my best. So just taking a moment to see each other and appreciate being together. And in our continuing exploration of the Eightfold Path, today we'll practice with right speech. And as a doorway to awakening, all the Eightfold Paths are doorways to awakening. And we'll particularly practice with the aspect of honest, truthful speech. So here's what we have in mind for our Sangha practice today. I'll start with a short guided meditation. Then Lucy will offer an introduction to right speech, kind of a framing, and including this particular aspect of speaking honestly. And we'll practice in dyads to inquire into the value of speaking honestly. And then after a body break, Lucy will offer a brief introduction to nonviolent communication, and we'll practice expressing honestly together. And then we'll have some time for group harvesting before closing. So any questions? Great. So then let's just settle our bodies and minds as we're able to foster stability and presence. Yeah, so as we begin our practice together today, let's pause to inhabit the body. Sitting here right now. The weight of it, the breadth of it. Pausing to honor the physical experience of being alive in this precious human body. Perhaps you can feel the sensations of your feet resting on the floor, of your legs and your butt resting on your chair. The downward pull of gravity on your body. Perhaps you can sense earth underneath you, gravity holding the body, and perhaps a sense of support from earth. Noticing breath entering the body, its particular aliveness. And as breath naturally leaves the body, see if you'd like to invite the body to relax. Inviting the face to relax, the eyes, inviting the jaw to relax, inviting the shoulders to relax. Inviting the spine to relax and all. Inviting your wondrous nervous system to relax. Inviting the mind to relax. As we're able, relaxing into the support of earth and breath. And then if you're willing, just open your awareness to the intentions that brought you here today. What called you to take time on a Sunday to sit with yourself and your like-minded companions in this beautiful circle of Sangha? And taking a moment to bring to mind the support of Path of Awake, seek work to create a world of belonging. Our companions here today, and all the people we know who undertake this work of liberation. And all the people we don't know who share this aspiration. See if you can feel the power of our collective intention for awakening. And now bringing your awareness back to your body sitting on earth and breathing. Opening your awareness to all of us here today. And as you're ready, opening your eyes and rejoining the circle.
Maggie, leave it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ruby, so beautifully bringing us into the pause and relax and this awareness of being here together right now as we look at each other's little rectangle on the screen. I feel really honored to be invited to explore this particular path factor of speech. And we say is right speech, wise speech, wholesome speech, skillful speech. We have all these different ways to refer to this path factor. And I think it's engaging with words in a way that helps to awaken us to the truth of what is. So it's this liberative truth of the oneness, and rather than separation. So this is a very lofty aspiration, and the question is, how do we practice wise, right, wholesome, skillful speech? And I think how blessed we are as a community, the ID community, given that speech, dialogue is central to our practice. And we have been offered these 6 guidelines, which support us both inside and outside the meditation hall. And as Buddhist practitioners, we lean on the precepts. And I am absolutely thrilled to see on my screen Sui, and Michael and Ruby, and we took probably almost a year to take the precepts and to really look at how they might be offered in a way that serves in different contexts. I think if you look at the ethics document, the IDC ethics document, maybe Nancy, you can just quickly share that, and those of you who want to can take it down from the chat for a later reference. But we took this, the ethics, the precepts, and really tried to express how they might be applied in various contexts. So on the first level, it's daily practice. And then we have a section on informal practice, formal ID practice, how it might be applied. And then there's also a section that was expressly for those of us who either teach, facilitate, or lead sessions and practice in the ID community. So I remember fondly how hard we worked to come to agreement on putting out a document that is always still to be changed and improved as our community grows. So just using that as a, just as a good reference, I think. So the daily life words that we used were aware of the power of both verbal and nonverbal expression to heal or to harm, We cultivate clear intention when speaking and receptive attention when listening. We practice saying only what is true, kind, beneficial, and timely, while refraining from words that are harsh, idle, or divisive. So the usual orientation around right speech is refraining from harmful speech or abstaining from false speech. And in our session today, we're going to also want to focus on honest expression and to see ways in which speaking and being able to actually convey the truth is equally part of right speech. I mean, the speaking part, not just the refraining part. And recently I got this quote from Sayadaw U Tejaniya, who says, when we say hurtful or unhelpful things, the mind is agitated. When we don't say the things that we should say, this also brings agitation. We need to know what amount of speaking is necessary and enough. So in that ethics document, we have these words to apply to our formal ID practice context. It's our intention to be forthcoming and honest when beneficial, and refrain from speaking when harmful. We speak with care, aware of how our personal and cultural conditioning shapes our expression. We aspire to foster an environment of safety and inclusion that encourages open dialogue, even when discomfort arises. And recognize that engaging in difficult conversations can be a source of learning and awakening for the community. So this team that I'm currently on with Ruby and Nick Redfern and Christine King, we really have a vision to include authentic honesty as also a door to awakening. And I feel we're especially blessed as ID practitioners to be able to have each other to reflect back and to be able to receive feedback. But we can only receive feedback, well, not only, but we certainly can receive more feedback if we're also willing to offer feedback. So it's an opportunity for each of us to awaken to our own ignorance of places we can't see ourselves, because we have this mirror of community, of Sangha, of each other. And that's it's just such a valuable gateway to knowing the truth. So we want to be practicing refraining from harmful speech and also practicing offering what is true when it is called upon to be expressed. So we hope that, that our practice can contain both. And we're going to offer a contemplation. Ruby is going to offer a contemplation where we can really explore this in small groups. So Ruby, pass that on to you.
Sure. Yes, we want to just explore that tension and balance between refraining and courageous expression in that aspiration that Lucy just articulated about really walking through the door of authentic honesty as a door to awakening, both within ourselves, freeing ourselves from our ignorance and fixed views, and as a Sangha and in our world. So I can say that sometimes I want to express something that feels important to me. I want to express it to a person or to a group, especially to an ID group, but I hesitate. I might feel confused and need to check if I'm reacting or if I do have something important to offer. And of course, that's the first step in right speech, is to feel into my intention, as we practiced with in September, that beautiful, powerful practice on intention in Sunday Sangha 2 months ago. And if I sense that it is a wholesome intention, I'm still often unsure how it will be received, if I can say it right, if it might be breaching this unspoken community code of equating right speech with being nice. It's that tension or that balance of refraining and speaking honestly. And, or another way, between the kind speech and truthful speech. There can be some grit in there in how to manifest them. So, like many of us, I've been conditioned to prioritize harmony over honesty when there's a choice, and to kind of like seek a sense of belonging and comfort through silence. And Buddhist communities, including our own, sometimes frame relational compassion in ways that discourage growing through honesty and wholesome conflict. And when I refrain from speaking something important out of fear and seeking comfort, I just forfeit that authentic relationality and that spiritual growth in myself, the possible increased intimacy that can come from an honest conversation, and the possible wholesome changes that a group can embark on because of someone's honest insight. So I'm speaking for myself, but I'm pretty sure that many of you can relate to this experience. So we're going to practice in pairs. We're going to practice in dyads with this contemplation. And here's the contemplation to start. So speakers, recall a time that you wanted to express some honest truth with a person or a group, but did not. When you refrain from speaking what's important to you, what might be gained and what might be lost. So that's the contemplation. So as you inhabit this experience of wanting to speak up, but choosing not to, just what body sensations, what emotions, and what thoughts arise. Please use the support of our precious ID guidelines to stay with the complexity of your experience as it changes. Pause and relax as a refuge, and open and attune to what's arising, and then speaking from that presence as you're able, as it unfolds. And listeners, see if you can listen with your whole being, noticing what arises in you. And your kind, settled attention is a profound gift to yourself as well as to your partner. So each speaker will have 4 minutes to explore this experience, and then you'll have 4 minutes in open dialogue to continue practicing. And I'll send banners to let you know when to switch. So any questions before I repeat the contemplation? Okay, sorry.
Can you repeat it, or could
Yeah, I'm going to repeat it, but yeah, before I repeat it, are there any questions?
Okay, sorry.
And then we'll go, no, it's no problem. That's a question. What is it again? Yeah. Yeah.
And it is in the chat.
Yeah. So here's the contemplation. Recall a time when you wanted to express some honest truth with a person or with a group, but did not. When you refrain from speaking what's important to you, what might be gained, and what might be lost. Enjoy your practice.
So I hope everyone's feeling a little bit refreshed from that movement. And so the second part of our session here, we're going to introduce nonviolent communication, sometimes referred to as NVC. And it's about speaking honestly. And when we talk about wise speech, it also includes wise listening. And that means that I'm both able to connect with my own experience, and I'm also interested in putting attention on trying to connect with your experience. And for me, the objective of NVC, nonviolent communication, is really about heart connection, heart to heart. And the what I want is, no matter how much I disagree with you and how much aversion I might feel towards you in this moment, I want to trust that I will not put you outside of this heart. So, and that's really hard when I feel a lot of aversion, right? So I have found NVC to be really, really helpful in helping me to maintain that heart connection and the sense that, oh, okay, despite all the friction or conflict, whatever, there is that fundamental connection that I have each
Go lay down.
individual.
Go lay down.
So I like to, maybe Nancy, you can share this. The framework, the NVC framework that helps me hold everyone as one in our common humanity is this concept of needs. Nancy, if you can share that page there, just to offer you an example of a list of what we call needs in nonviolent communication. These are elements, qualities that all human beings share, and everyone has experienced the need for support or for stability, the need for harmony or choice, the need for purpose or for clarity. I mean, these are so common. These are that we experience ongoingly, and of course they change like everything else. So when I am aware that I am experiencing a need and the other person is also experiencing a need, and surprisingly oftentimes it's the same need, I have this framework of speaking from my need rather speaking from my head, which oftentimes involves a judgment. So I would say that nonviolent communication, Nancy, I think you can, and those of you who are interested, we can offer you a PDF of the nonviolent communication, what they call inventory of feelings and needs, because NVC is actually really connecting to the felt experience of this moment in this heart. So feelings and needs. So there's a list that helps us to be able to identify and practice which, yeah, thanks, Nancy, for offering that later. But I want to say that I see MEC as being two things. I mean, connected. Well, one is this framework, this consciousness, the consciousness that all human beings experience these needs, and that there are needs, whether they are fulfilled or not fulfilled, in every moment. Like right now, I can ask myself, what am I feeling, emotionally, body, and also ask myself, well, what need is alive right now for me? What need is being fulfilled or not being fulfilled? So I would say that right now, one of my needs is connection. So, and I'm looking at those of you who are on the screen, and this need for connection is being met in this moment. I might also have a need for contribution to contribute to this exploration that we're all engaged in around right speech, skillful speech, what else? Wholesome speech. So contribution, connection. Maybe I also have a need for harmony. I feel like we're, all on the same page to some degree, and feeling that need also being met. But this consciousness itself is one piece, and nonviolent communication I see as a form of consciousness, nonviolence, ahimsa, something that can be developed. So there's that. But MEC is also a very concrete model with steps and pieces that can be learned, sort of like learning dance steps. And the more we practice, the more we flow and we make it our own. And I am the first to acknowledge that when we first apply these steps, they can sound really formalistic, awkward, fake, unnatural, or they can feel very cerebral. What's the first step? What's the second step? And very complicated. So there's that model. But even if we just begin to have a framework of how all human beings share the same consciousness, and to know that at every moment the consciousness around needs, that in every moment there are these needs, and over there on your end there are also needs, and I'm curious, I'm interested, I put my attention on what might be going on in your heart, same way that I want to connect with my heart. Just having that consciousness already changes my world. So in our short time together, I'd like to kind of give some examples of how it might sound when we speak from the place of being connected to need. So like Ruby, you're gonna help me, right? Do this. Where is Ruby? There you
Yeah,
are.
sorry, I lost connection. Yeah.
So Ruby is going to say something that could sound like something that's very possibly wanting to be said in some of our groups, because we're Sangha and community. These are we use examples that seem fairly likely, fairly common. So she's going to say something, and then I'm going to see if I can take what is thought or said and express it out of a place of needs consciousness. So we had a couple of that. Ruby, do you have that on hand?
Yep. You ready to start?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's an example in a group. It's really unfair how only a few people always seem to assert their opinions.
it's really unfair how only a few people always seem to assert their opinions. So here's what I might say. Excuse me, can I say something? I really value inclusion and hearing everyone's input. I'm wondering if we could do a round and hear each person's take on this. So with my thought, it's really unfair how only a few people, I can hear, you can hear I'm thinking it's unfair. There's a judgment that something's going wrong. But when I go into my need is for inclusion, for community, maybe for respect, participation. So there may be several needs. But when I speak out of that, I am expressing my need. And then what's very important in MEC and really effective is that as soon as we express a need, we want to follow up with a concrete request so that the people who are listening don't just get, oh, I have a need for inclusion. And obviously it's not being met by the way you guys are behaving, right? So there's that feeling. So I'm going to say, hey, I really value inclusion and hearing everybody's input. I'm wondering, could we do a round right now and just get everyone's take on this? So that's a very concrete request that we're following up on. So here's another example. Ruby, I think you go. Say what the statement is that you'd like to be making.
Sure. And just as a reminder, to go back to the first step is what's my intention, right? Because clearly, like it was a wholesome intention, even though I didn't express the last one in such a way that would be easily received, you can see that definitely there was a wholesome intention. So here's the next one.
Wait,
And
let's
again,
stop that. So the intention was what?
uh,
Really unfair how only a few people always seem. I mean, what is the intention behind that?
yeah, the intention is to build the group, to have collective wisdom, have collective, get all the resources in the, it's definitely, it's not my personal like reactivity. It's like, this is definitely help. I know it's helpful, even though I don't know how to say it, right?
Well, it is a need for inclusion because I have the values to have everyone included. I have the value of community, of respect. So that is the motivation, right? Yeah, so here's another example.
So I'm here to engage in real meditation practice, not to waste time working out Sangha dynamics.
Okay,
We could see, you might want to check your intention there first.
Yeah, for practice, for genuine practice. Yeah, I'm here to practice, not waste time arguing over logistics. So connecting to my needs, I might say, hey, hang on, we're all here to practice ID. I'm noticing some frustration. Would everyone be okay if we took a few minutes to pause and relax and then come back to see what comes up? Does anyone have a concern if I were to time us for 3 minutes? Okay, so here you can hear my need, right? I have a need for, in fact, if people want to just say it out loud, you just unmute yourself and say, what do you think my needs are here?
To reflect.
To reflect?
Just to take a pause.
Right, to practice.
Yeah.
It's part of our practice, right? The pause. Any other needs?
Efficiency.
Efficiency, okay, to be able to complete what we have come together to do. Yeah.
Clarity.
I think you want Ruby to know that you heard her in your response.
Okay. Actually, Michael, I'm playing Ruby too. It's just the same person. But yeah, I may really have a need to know that the rest of you are that I'm being heard and understood by the rest of you. Yeah, I definitely have that need if I were to speak. Somebody else had said something else.
Clarity. Somebody said clarity.
Yes, clarity. Like,
Choice.
what's here? Right? Yeah.
Choice.
Choice. Yes. We're doing this right now, and I really, really honor and value this other thing, right? And I'm not seeing that happening. So I value choice and being able to maybe invite us back to something different. Okay, so I have a need for maybe purpose. What are we doing here? You know, for integrity, we're here to practice, and I would like that to be happening. I might have a need for connection because I'm just getting lost in all this stuff about logistics, and I might have a need for harmony. So there could be different needs, but I express what I'm noticing. I express some frustration, and then I follow up with a very clear, concrete request. Okay, does anyone have a concern if I were to time us for 3 minutes so that we can pause and relax? Okay. So I think one more example. Do we have time for one more example before we go into groups? Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So this one's on email.
Oh, yeah.
Just two of us showed up at the meeting last week. What's going on? Doesn't anybody care about our project? You
And
can hear. Yeah, go ahead.
since we a lot of our communication does occur on email, it's really, really helpful to know that we can practice just as well, right? In the written form. So I like to say, well, what's in my head is, just two of us showed up at the meeting last week. What's going on? Doesn't anybody care about our project? So let me connect with my feeling and my need. I feel disheartened that only two of us came to the meeting that we had arranged. I'm curious to know whether we're all still interested in this project. Could we all agree to devote 30 minutes at our next meeting to gauge each person's interest in pursuing this project? So in the first version, just two of us showed up at the meeting last week. What's going on? Does anybody care? You can hear the unexpressed feelings behind that, right? Could you guys hear that? Oh, just two of us showed up. What's going on? Doesn't anybody care? And when feelings are not expressed, they can often be heard as judgments. So I can say, I feel disheartened. I feel discouraged. I feel sad that only two of us showed up. And in this case, my needs might be for integrity, for agreements to be kept. But I'm also curious. I said, I'm curious to know whether we're all still interested in pursuing this particular project. So the feeling is curiosity. The need would be for clarity, for understanding. So those are some examples of how we might reframe some of the things we wish to say. And the examples we gave are all in groups, but of course this applies to any interaction. And to see if we could reframe it from this very clear connection with my own need. And then to follow it up with a request. The request is something that's doable, something concrete, something that people could immediately respond to me with. Otherwise, I put out my need, plunk, it's there, and it can often be heard as a judgment. Okay, any questions before we go? Well, let me tell you what the what the group practice, you'll go into triads. I'll tell you what it is and then maybe take some questions if it's not clear. Okay, so this is our triad practice. Use NVC consciousness to support saying the things that are important for you to say, either for yourself or for the group. And in the triad, help each other find that NVC need and help each other formulate how to effectively and compassionately express what wishes to be said. So you'll be working in threes. I hope you'll each have time, but even if only one or two of you have opportunity, I think we can all learn hearing each other's statements. So you're going to help each other by helping identify the need behind whatever statement the person makes, and then helping that person formulate how that could be expressed effectively and compassionately, grounded in the awareness of need. So any questions about the practice before we go on into it? And yeah, I think we have time. Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Pardon me?
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
I'm not clear what the statement is. What is it that basing it around?
Thank you. So it will be a statement you would like to make. The first part of this session, you were invited to maybe look at, is there any occasion where your heart has wanted to express, but it was hard, and maybe you refrain. So a real statement that you recall or in this moment might wish to offer, but feels a little difficult or tender, or just requires more courage than you feel you have. So it's a real statement. So among the three of you, I'm sure that at least one or two of you will have a statement, and the three of you would work together to help formulate it through this NVC consciousness. And I'm wondering, maybe Nancy, we should have that list in the chat so that people can refer to it if they wish. And of course, as you come into your group, you take that pause, gather ourselves, and in speaking and listening, remembering that we are practicing the 6 guidelines and supporting each other in this I find this really intriguing and exciting way of practicing honesty, practicing our capacity to really engage in this 4th precept of really noble speaking, noble speech. So Nancy, thank you. She just shared this feelings that might be helpful as you do this. How much time we have? Do we have 15 minutes?
Looks like 13 till 50 minutes past the hour.
Okay, and I don't think we actually need turn taking. This is more of an exploration together. So just making sure that you really do feel generous when it comes to pausing and supporting each other. Okay, shall we send you into triads?
So, Lucy, you want to close us out?
Yeah, let's just take a moment to pause and maybe rest our attention for a moment on all these faces. This is our Sangha. Together we practice to deepen, to awaken together. And I'd like to close our exploration today with a quote from a Buddhist Quaker, Valerie Brown. And I have been very touched by her words. I'd like to share it, and especially in honor of our Sangha, which is such a cherished part of my life. And so these are her words. She says, "It's easy to have idyllic beliefs about community, that it's a place where everyone is friendly, agreeable, and polite, a place where there's no conflict, connection is easy, there are no difficult people. What I've discovered, however, is that more often than not, community is about conflict and about how we navigate it together. Conflict often reveals something important, allowing me to yield to something bigger and more important than protecting my own ideas around right or wrong. Community calls me towards recognizing the shadow side of myself, the ways in which I'm hard, distant, rigid, and unforgiving. Community shows me when I'm placing my needs before others, showing up distracted or late, and taking others for granted. The opportunity I'm then given is to ask essential questions. Can I be transparent and undefended without collapsing when this feedback comes my way? Can I notice, name, and investigate with open curiosity what I am feeling? Can I offer myself and others kind attention without judgment or blame? The gift of community is the mirror that reflects back to me, that offers me a chance to live into a better part of myself. So may we all cherish our community, our Sangha, and the ways in which we absolutely support each other in awakening together and finding how to live into that better part of ourselves. Thank you so much joining today in that practice and exploring of right speech.
Oh, thank you so much, Ruby and Lucy, for this rich practice time. Before you go, I just want to say, if you're moved to offer dana for our practice today, I'm putting a link in the chat. It's the Giving to Practice Groups page, and it's an alphabetical list when you press the drop down. So Sunday Sangha, and that the dana is shared among the facilitators of Sunday Sangha through the year. Last thing I'll say is our next practice will be in 5 weeks. The first Sunday in December is December 7th. We'll see you then when Emma Donaldson Fielder, and Gregory Kramer will be offering practice. So I do hope to see you then. Thank you very much.